Now, Anmol Pawar, I invite your attention to All India Service Discipline and Appeal Rules 1969, which apply to all public servants, right, who are members of the All India Service, which means public servants who are government officers. So, public servants who are government officers, the kind of rules that Arvind Kejriwal would have been bound by if he was in the Indian Revenue Service. According to this, a member of the service who is detained in official custody, whether on a criminal charge or otherwise, for a period longer than 48 hours shall be deemed to have been suspended by the government concerned under this rule.
Suspended.
Concerned under this rule, more than 48 hours you are in jail, you are suspended automatically. Now, I remember that when Arvind Kejriwal came into politics, Nalin, Anmol, he used to say that politicians should not get special treatment. The same rules that apply to everyone, whether a clerk or an officer or an undersecretary, a secretary, should also apply to a minister. These were Arvind Kejriwal's words. Therefore, by his words, he should be suspended by now. But he says now that I am a politician, the same rules don't apply to me. So, do you want me to read this out again? A member of a service who is detained in official custody, whether on a criminal charge or otherwise, for a period longer than 48 hours, shall be deemed to have been suspended, which automatically, impromptu,
Deemed to be, sir.
by the government concerned under this rule.
Arnab, thanks for
Deemed to
inviting
be
my
suspended.
attention
Yes.
to these rules.
Why should this not apply to Arvind Kejriwal?
Arnab, thanks for inviting my attention to these rules. Now, let me invite your attention towards the orders passed by the Honorable Supreme Court in Sahara case, wherein he was allowed to use conference room with special facilities like Wi-Fi video conferencing. He was allowed 2 desktops, landline phone with STD ISD facility, a mobile phone, 2 secretarial and 1 technical person was also allowed to assist him. And let me also invite your attention to the order passed by the Honorable Division Bench when 2 Bengal ministers were under house arrest in Narada scam. They were allowed to operate and meet the ministers through video conferencing facilities. So first of all, these rules which you are stating does not apply to the Honorable Delhi Chief Minister. And secondly, there are precedents in the past wherein the Honorable Division Bench of the High Court and the Supreme Court has allowed the ministers and others to operate from inside the jail. Mr. Nalin Kohli can throw some light on these orders.
I thank you for inviting your attention. My attention
as a lawyer, I was in court when
case.
some of these orders were
1 minute, Nalin. I'll just make a small point before I ask you to respond to Anmol Pawar tonight. Give me a moment to make a point here tonight. Now, how times change? How times change, viewers. Year is 2011. A younger Arvind Kejriwal enters public life as a lieutenant to Anna Hazare. And one of the reasons Arvind Kejriwal enters politics is because he says what people like Subroto Roy Sahara have done should never be forgiven. They have scammed the poor, they have stolen from the poor, and they should be denied all privileges. Tonight, how times change, viewers, that the person called Subroto Roy Sahara, who is responsible for what is colloquially called the Sahara scam, his example and the special privileges given to him as an individual case are being quoted by the Aam Aadmi Party to demand same privileges for Arvind Kejriwal in jail, without giving me an answer to my question that the rules of a public servant which apply to a central government officer should apply to a politician. I don't believe in a world where a politician should say, because I'm a politician, I will not be suspended.
Should apply and
I can't believe it, viewers. I cannot believe that this is happening tonight. Can you believe? Can you believe this, viewers?
Please show me any of the provision which bars the sitting chief minister to operate from inside the jail. Any constitutional provision. You can't because you don't have.
How you are holding on to technicalities? I'll let Nalin Kohli respond. The argument
It's
is
not about technicalities.
You're holding on to technicalities.
We are governed by the Constitution of India.
And this Constitution gives us
I put
the
it differently.
Privilege. One minute.
It gives us the right.
Okay.
We are not convicted.
Just one minute.
We have been framed
viewers,
in a false
Anmol, you are
fabricated
listening to my
case
question. You're countering me. You're countering me. I want to debate with you. I don't want to fight with you. But I will make my point because I will make my point, Anmol. All I'm saying tonight, and I think the viewer understands me. Viewers, whatever, Anmol, please allow me to comprehensively make my point, and Nalin will respond to you. I have given you the opening. Viewers, what am I saying? I am saying that till he was about 40 years old, Arvind Kejriwal, or maybe 38, 39 years old, Arvind Kejriwal was an Indian Revenue Service officer. He was therefore bound by some rules.
Is he still an
Why
Indian
should
Revenue
the rules
Service
be
officer?
stronger for an Indian
Is he
Revenue
still an
Service
IRS
officer and
Arnab?
weaker for his boss, the politician? I do not
Is he still
understand
an
this.
IRS officer?
Nobody understands this. I am saying, why should... 1 minute,
Does
sir.
the
Let me
same rule
complete.
apply to
Let
any
me
other
complete.
politician
1
as
minute,
well?
sir. Sir, 1 minute, sir. Okay, so Anmol, don't speak over me
please
because you
don't
think my
misdirect,
argument is so strong that if viewers listen to me, they will be with me. I will repeat my point. I request you not to intervene over me. I am making a simple point, viewers. At the age of 37, at the age of 40, at the age of 42, Arvind Kejriwal tom-tommed around saying strong rules should apply to politicians. Rules for politicians should be as strong, if not stronger, than for government officers. Today, at the age of 56, 57, Arvind Kejriwal is saying, oh, but the rule, I am a politician now, I can operate from jail, but the civil servant cannot. It's not making any sense to us. And I know the viewers are with me. Nalin is on the debate. Ladies and gentlemen, Nalin responding to Anmol Pawar on this fiery debate tonight. Nalin.
Thank you, Arnab. I just hope that I have the courtesy from Anmol that I can finish my point without interruption. I think we need to look at Mr. Kejriwal as in totality. What is coming out, and let your viewers decide, either he's a man who's a pathological liar. That means he says one thing and does exactly the opposite, or for the sake of power, he's willing to do anything. It's one of the two. Let's look at his trajectory. He came on India against corruption, saying that I will not let corruption happen, I will take action against corruption. His two ministers, he's the Chief Minister of Delhi, are in jail without bail. Another colleague is in jail. For what? In a corruption scam related to the liquor scam. He himself does not join the investigation, takes no action against them, runs away from the investigation, today is in jail. Now let's look at it why I said he either is desperate for power. In 2013, he ensured after he came to power, first he said, I take the oath of my children. I will not join the Congress party. Radio after radio ad. First thing he did is form the government with the Congress party. Then eliminated every one of his fellow travelers who could have been a sort of a moral standing around him or prevented him from holding on to power securely. All of them, one by one, he moved out. Now let's come to the point you raise. He is under the oath of the Constitution to serve the people. People don't go to jail to serve the public. People go to jail because the courts believe that the person should be kept away from the public, not serve the public. When a person is in jail, you run by the jail manual. Forget about the Constitution of India. The first question is, show me a provision in the jail manual that says that a man who's a chief minister should be permitted to get facilities to run it. Number 3, in the Sahara case, and I was in court when it came up in the Supreme Court, please note, Sahara Shri at that time, the late Sahara Shri, was being investigated for having taken 15, 16, 30,000 crores or something. The court gave him the facilities to negotiate the sale of a hotel in London to pay back the people on whom there was this allegation that he had scammed their money. It wasn't for him to function and run his company. It was for a specific purpose that you will sell off the assets to make sure that the depositors get the money. Number 2, the West Bengal case that he is giving is about house arrest. Mr. Kejriwal is not under house arrest. He is not living in his private confines of the house. He is in Tihar jail. The jail will run by the jail manual, not the rules of house arrest. So typical of the Aam Aadmi Party to pick an argument from somewhere else and somehow try to mold it to suit them. Last question, how are these papers coming out? In the jail, you don't have access to cellular phones, to internet, to typewriters, computers, etc. How are they coming out? One wonders. And if they are coming out, what is their legal sanctity? Because Mr. Kejriwal ultimately is in jail. Then he talks about water. After going to jail, 9 years in power, you're not bothered about the summers that come every year. The weather of the year returns every year. There is a summer, there's a water crisis. Now suddenly I'm worried about the water crisis. While his colleagues out there are crying copious tears, what a wonderful man he is. If he was a wonderful man, then how did a scam take place in Delhi under his nose? And if he was allowing it to happen, does it not mean that he himself was permitting it? Or was he so incompetent that he couldn't prevent his own ministers from taking decisions against the interests of Delhi? These are serious allegations. Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party can't escape by creating and manufacturing technicalities that don't even apply to them.